And hello to all my friends. I would like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'm putting together a compilation video for Messages from Heaven. It is a spread that I do where we basically hand the microphone to the other side. We usually write a small list of deceased loved ones, and we usually have one that steps forward and says a few things. It is short form, so it's usually about a paragraph in length, maybe sometimes a little bit longer, but it's just short and sweet little thing. And it's a spread that I've been doing for a while now, quite successfully, and I wanted to kind of showcase it because it can be a part of any of my personal or private readings, the 30-minute or the 60-minute. The way I look at it is it's your time and you can do what you want with it. So if Messages from Heaven is something that interests you, that's what this video is all about. It's showcasing kind of how it's done. And in fact, I usually have somebody on the other end that I'm talking to, and we can kind of weed through some things together because as you're going to see in these videos, I'm basically driving blind. I don't know anything about either of these people except for their first name and like last initial. So I don't know their year of birth. I know literally nothing. So picking apart the language of the tarot is quite difficult, and it's quite a lot of navigating, as you're going to see, but it's a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get to it. Okay, so we are doing a message from heaven for Tracy from Nick. We are connected to Nick right now. Nick presented himself as the Tower card. That usually tells me that the Tower card is very quick, sudden, abrupt, energetic change. Usually the first card they show me has to do with their passing. It would lead me to believe that Nick passed in a very fast manner. This was not a long drawn out thing, unless he's referring to something else that was fast and sudden and just a boom, sudden collapse. It's just like 1 minute it's here and 1 minute it's not. So that's the energy that he came in on. Now, as we get into Nick's message, I have two of them. One is large, one is small. The first thing that he talks about is that he is very complete. I have a person card here of the King of Wands. He was probably, I would guess and lead to say that he was a working man. That's how he presents himself, at least as the working man. Says very complete. So there's not a lot left undone. Just feels very complete. I have that represented by the World card. That can also be a very worldly, foreign affairs, like a lot of travel type of stuff as well. Maybe he did that. Maybe he was just trying to say complete, that he's just very complete. Those are the definitions of the card. The next I have that there is a lot of chaos that he had to overcome. A lot of something was broken. I'm not sure what that is. Something was broken, perhaps in regards to health. We have a leg up here. There is two notations here in this message about somebody younger. I have the energy of children. And then I also have in the Oracle card a leg up of a polar bear riding on top of another polar bear. So we're talking about a generation gap here for Nick. I'm not sure if Nick had kids or if that's who he's referring to, but something is broken or not magical. Something was broken beyond the point of no repair. In other words, he's making some notation to the generation gap younger. Like I said, I don't know where this all fits. The context of it, I do not know. Got to keep in mind, I have no idea how old Nick is or where he fits in Tracy's timeline. But here we also have a card of good credit, so it shows some kind of good financial attachment to this. So I don't know if he did some kind of help or did some kind of work with money, or if his passing was able to benefit somebody in a positive way financially, something like that. Then I finally have the Eight of Swords here. It shows that he has kind of he has unburdened himself with love in regards. So I'm assuming that he was bound by love here, or some interesting message with that. It shows a very loving card, but it's kind of getting over the a little bit of an imprisonment. So maybe he was very bound up by love here. Maybe he was overburdened in love or something like that, or maybe married for a long time or something like that. It shows that is what is being talked about and referred to. So that is the big message that we have from Nick. And then finally, the last little thing that's more kind of telling about him. This is more of the message. He's talking about an inaction in regards to the card is the Chariot. I often read it as a car because it basically means movement. It refers to transportation a lot as well. And to the average American, that would refer to a car. So he's saying inaction in regards to a car. I'm not sure what that is. If he's saying don't buy a car, or if he's saying don't buy that car, or get rid of the car. Well, no, not get rid of the car. I guess that would be an action. We're talking about an inaction here. He's saying inaction in regards to car, transportation, mode of travel. If it's not that, the other definition of the chariot is splitting your energy greatly in two different directions. So if that's the case, he's saying that your energy is spread way too far between two different things, and you really need to focus on one thing and not be so scattered. So that's what I have from Nick. Okay, so we are here for Leo. Leo is here for Nancy. Leo for Nancy. I have two different set of messages. The way he came in, bringing himself in, was the death card. I guess that's kind of self-explanatory. Not a whole lot really to say about that, but that describes, how they left. I mean, like I said, very obvious, but how they left or the relationship with the querent. The first thing that Leo wants to talk about, well, I guess I should say, he just kind of gets right to the point. He says that there is something's being neglected that he wants taken care of, or something needs to be repurposed, or a new idea for something specifically. I feel like it could be something like a ring. I don't want to super attach it to that, but I have to bring it up because in the card, the Ace of Swords is holding a crown around it, kind of like a ring going on a finger. So I do have to at least bring that up. So there's an inaction going on with taking care of something. There's something that he took great pride in, or something like that he wants adjusted. He wants some kind of new thought process for, or something repurposed, like I said. The next thing is kind of the big message. That was just kind of his little 2 cents, I guess. He wants to talk about getting something that's very interesting. I don't know if this is something that's very interesting to him, or if it's something very interesting to you, but getting interested into something. And then he talks about something, a decision that has been made. This is got to be somewhat recent. Well, not necessarily. I guess it could go back, but to him, it seems recent. A major decision got made in your life, and he's basically saying that it's not alone. I have the Hermit inverted. That means not alone, or with other people. We have good credit or good financial moves, good financial decision. He's bringing light on all that. He's saying that this decision did all those things. He's also saying that pay a lot of attention to your thoughts, ideas, that kind of stuff that comes to you. Basically, he's saying that you have quite a bit of claircognizance. So pay attention to your dreams, stuff like that. He obviously has different ways of communicating with you besides just this. I also feel like you probably already know that. I don't think I'm telling you anything new. The very last thing he says here is that you have a very, very good perception on things. You have a very good emotional ability to look at the good instead of what you've lost. So I guess he's kind of applauding that, or bringing awareness, or just mentioning it. So all very good things there. Just kind of straight shooter, but came in with a purpose and wanted to say a couple major things, and that's what we have. Okay, so now we read for Dawn. We have Marie for Dawn. Now, this was one of the interesting ones that I've never really had occur before, where I had two people or two energies kind of participating, or perhaps debating on which one was going to come through, or maybe it was just up in the air and we could get either one. So it was up to the querent to choose. In this case, it's Dawn, and Dawn chose Marie. So we were talking to Marie. And interestingly enough, the very first thing that came up is that either way, it was going to be the same choice. Very interesting way to start, because the next thing that we have is Marie telling Dawn that Bella is with, actually not with her, but with a male. So I don't know who this male is, but they say a king. Bella is with the king, with the male. So a deceased male loved one, and that is actually who Bella is with, or spends most of her time with. That goes back to a conversation that we had leading up to this reading, because Dawn was a little confused between who she wanted to talk to, and I really never had it come up before either, so it was new to both of us. So that's what happened, and they're letting us know that either way you were going to get the information the same way. So they're letting us know Bella is with the man. Okay. And actually that they're growing together too. An interesting way to put it, but that's kind of how it's described. She says that there is growth. Well, not just there is growth between the two of them, but she's mentioning growth, I'm assuming, between you as well. There is something that you've been holding on to for too long. They do bring that up. I've had that also come up in another reading for this Messages from Heaven. It seems to be a recurring issue, really helping people let go of old stuff that doesn't suit them anymore or doesn't do them justice anymore. So that's what comes up as well. And it's almost kind of like she's it's almost like Marie is speaking for the man that Bella is with, and for whatever reason it's almost like he stepped away or is far away and has to like relay. So it's almost like Marie is kind of like the relay woman here for the man. So anyway, holding on to something for too long, something that needs to be let go, something that needs to be purged and moved on from. So keep that in mind. That could be just about anything. You probably know what's best and what they're referring to too, because you know yourself and the energies I'm describing. Much more than I do, which is about zero. The very last message that we have is kind of a standalone message. Marie wants to remind you that you have the strength, that you're not missing any tools from your toolbox, that you have everything that you need. I'm not exactly sure what she's referring to. It just might be in general, really. She does talk about some kind of idea that you have. I guess you have some kind of new idea that she's really behind. She is behind you. She wants you to take action to like make this thing happen. I'm not sure what it is, but she's saying that you have what it takes to do it. So she wants you to move forward and go through with it. We have the Sun card that describes it. That's the best card in the deck. Golden energy, all things wonderful. And the very last thing is that she makes mention that you may not know everything right now. You may not have, even though you have all the tools, you may not have all the information needed. So maybe work on the information phase of the idea. Or it could also be indicated by some kind of training or collegiate course, or learning something new comes up for the High Priestess card as well. So that's all about the kind of new idea, the thing that she wants to see you excel at and kind of push off, some kind of new beginning of some sort. So that's what we have from Marie. Very good stuff. Okay, so we're going to wrap up with Warren for Shelia. And Warren is apparently my chatterbox out of the group. He started talking before I even pulled cards. Cards were jumping out of the decks and all kinds of stuff. He wanted to start by saying all is well. He showed the Four of Swords coming in with, which basically shows that he's either at peace now, or he was perhaps even went in his sleep, because the card does usually indicate how they left this world or their relationship with the Querent. So the Four of Swords comes up. That's the peace, kind of laying down in a hammock, relaxing type thing. So either that's the way he went, or that's how he views his relationship with you. I call him the chatterbox because he took up my entire table full of cards. He, like I said, wanted to start by saying all is well, but then also gave me the cards that made me pull more cards, and it turned into a lot. So very chatty guy, or a lot to say. I don't know if he was chatty when he was here, or if this is just he has a lot to say now, or what it is. But here we are, and here we go. First thing he wants to talk about is something legal that is blocked. It either means legal because it hasn't happened yet, or it's looming, or something of that nature. In both of the cards that he described it with, we have a man and a woman in both of them. We have the Lover's card, man and a woman. We also have the Nine of Cups, man and a woman. Nine of Cups usually means success. Success in love, success in relationships, successful emotions. So he's talking about that. Also says go the distance. So I almost feel like this person is, at least, you got to keep in mind, this is this person's opinion. This is not like all of spirit world. This is not, your angel messages or anything like that. This is just Warren's opinion, I guess, on this, or his outlook perhaps. But he feels that go the distance comes up. So kind of like treat this like a marathon, or, don't give up, keep pushing, something like that. The very next thing here, I think that I think he's talking about his own death right here. He talks about the Sun card, saying that it's wonderful now, or it could be either way. But the Sun is the best card in the deck. It's golden, wonderful energy, the nostalgia of a child. He talks about building blocks, so it's almost like he was trying to do something here, or maybe he was trying to build something or accomplish a specific or certain task. He was trying to. He says he was trying to purge a lot of old junk, or a lot of some kind of energy that was stagnant, that kind of like a hoarder type thing. That's another one of the cards that keeps coming up in these readings. really trying to do that in this life before he died. I don't know if he accomplished that or not. I feel like maybe he did, the way it's presented, especially with the son. So anyway, he's doing real good now, for sure. There's no doubt about that. Third story. He talks about being bonded or being attached to something, and I think that he's trying to say that when he was here, he was very bound and attached. I don't know if that means confined by health or confined by a relationship or what, but he talks about some kind of confinement, and that comes up with the devil card. It can also mean, the devil card can also mean addiction. I don't know if he suffered from any kind of addiction or alcoholism or just being, or gambling. I mean, it could be anything, but that comes up. I'm not really sure the context, but we do have doing the right thing, so I feel like there was some kind of purification going on, getting away from toxicity, something like that. We also have, it's kind of a weird thing to come up, but we have a work action as well, so I don't know if it if how that ties in exactly. You'd have to kind of wrap the context around that, but I feel like that's the way that it was when he was here, and now he's saying that he's just there. He's just there with, it shows a cat in this deck. I feel like it's an animal of some sort, or maybe a pet of his that he cared greatly for, something like that. He just kind of says, oh, it's just me and the cat now, or it may be a dog or something like that. That's what comes up. But everything looks very good as far as his perspective on things. Very chatty guy. Seems pretty happy too. Also seems to be very opinionated. The very last thing he talks about is an impatience, is that you have an impatience with seeing how the puzzles fit going into the future, and that causes you great impatience. He says basically that it's a new journey for you to kind of be cautionary and watch your step, and really kind of not worry about love right now. I have the Ace of Cups inverted. It's basically, it would be new love. In this case, it's blocked. So it's saying, I think he's trying to say, don't worry about love right now. You're on a new journey, and it's not really about love. Which, very interesting message, because I feel like in a way, depending on how you interpret this, it may contradict the other messages that were in here. But again, I'm just speculating. I don't know you or Warren that well, so I'm just kind of going with what comes up, what is brought up. So that is the big one. That's my chatterbox of Warren for Shelia. I hope these messages made sense to all of you. Remember, this is extremely hard to do without me being able to interact with you. When I do these in private readings, personal readings, I interact with the people so I can ask questions and kind of delineate better and weed out some of these definitions that are not what we're going with, and therefore I can be more accurate with what I do. But given this context and this setup, this is the best that I can present it, and I just wanted to put this video together to show you kind of one of the many different spreads that I do in my personal readings that are available. So that's going to wrap us up for here. My name is Scott Sagent from scottsagent.com, and thanks for watching.